Hello, and welcome to another power-packed Phillips podcast. Yeah, buddy, let's get started. Okay, purpose of today's podcast is to review how to fill in the grids on the FCAT so you do not have epic fail. Nice. If, for some reason, you channel your inner cubbies on the FCAT and you forget how to fill in the grids on the FCAT, remember in the front of your test booklet on the FCAT that contains all of the questions, there will be a couple pages where they show you the correct way and the incorrect way to fill in the grids. So don't be afraid to refer back to that page. It should be towards the front of the booklet during the FCAT that has all of your questions in it. Earlier this week, we filled in the first two grids on the back of your FCAT review packet with 6 1/4 and 9 3/5. Today, we're going to fill in the next three grids on the back of your FCAT review. So today, we're going to do the next three grids in the first row. Back in the day, shortly after dinosaurs roamed the earth, no comments from the peanut gallery, McDonald's used to run a series of commercials on TV with different characters. One of the characters in the old school McDonald's commercials was this guy right here, and he was named the Hamburglar. Yes, those of you who are using your contextual clues, nice job. The Hamburglar would go around stealing people's hamburgers. And everybody used to get annoyed at the Hamburglar because he always used to elude captivity and they could never catch him. So why does this have to do with our podcast today in math? Here's why. Because we're going to pretend that you went to McDonald's and you ordered yourself a Big Mac. If the Hamburglar was still around, the Hamburglar would steal your Big Mac and get away with it. We would say that you got macked. Now, I know that this is not the correct spelling of the word macked, but you know what? This is math class, not language arts, so I can spell it any way I want. If the Hamburglar steals your Big Mac, you got macked. M-A-K-D. Multiply, add, keep the denominator. In the third grid on the first row, I would like you to grid in the mixed number 7 4/5. And if it helps you on the FCAT, just remember, you got macked by the Hamburglar. Multiply, add, keep the denominator. So I'm going to multiply 5 times 7, which is 35. Macked. Multiply, add 35 plus 4 is going to give me 39. Macked. Multiply, add, keep the denominator. So if you would, please grid in 39/5. Guys, don't forget, when you're gridding in a fraction on the FCAT, make sure you put a fraction bar in one of the boxes and also bubble in the fraction bar underneath. In the next grid, I would like you to grid in the mixed number 12 2/9. Don't forget, you got macked by the Hamburglar. Multiply, add, keep the denominator. Multiply 9 and 12, or you could say 12 and 9. Commutative property. Nice. You know I was going to slide it in there somewhere. Duh, bears. 12 times 9 or 9 times 12 gives you 108. Multiply, add, keep the denominator. Multiply, add, keep the denominator. In the fourth grid, please grid in your answer. 110 fraction bar 9. Now we're going to fill in the last grid in the first row. We're going to grid in the mixed number 8 5/7, and you got macked by the hamburger. Multiply, add, keep the denominator. Multiply 8 and 7, 7 and 8, that gives you 56. Multiply, add, 56 plus 5 gives you 61. Macked. Multiply, add, keep the denominator. 61 over 7. Keep in mind, guys, when you grid in on the FCAT, you can put your answers to the left side next to the negative space, or you could write your answers all the way to the right side. I chose mine to go on the left side next to the negative space, but if you wanted to translate, yeah, buddy, nice. Da Bears, slide your answers over to the last box on the right. I have no problem with that. Just make sure that you fill in the bubbles underneath the appropriate numbers. That is acceptable too. Alrighty, guys, you should have the first row completed. I'm going to ask that you rewind your podcast, return your iPod to the case, and please put your FCAT review packet back on the counter. Thank you, management.